Okay, so we made it 3.5 hours from Guelph. We're at the Gibson Occurrence. Obviously early in the morning. I think what, 7:30, 8 o'clock?
Too early.
Too early, yep. So we're heading off to look for some whatever you call those things, seams, trenches. So far, for lack of knowing where exactly to dig, Jeff and I have been working in this area, and I've been kind of going underneath. There's an open pocket down there. What I'm finding is a lot of these little tiny, not really tiny, but small doubly terminated crystals. I found that's one of the more interesting things I found, just down underneath there, laying loose. I'm going to follow this down to where it comes out underneath. So because all this stuff is made up of irons and magnesiums and titanium, it's heavy and it sinks. So the idea is the deeper you go, the closer to the bedrock, the more likely you are to find stuff. So look what Jeff's just found here. He's found a beautiful little titanite cluster down there, and that's intersecting the hole that I'm working on. Just knock this one off the wall. Look at this. Very lustrous. Beautiful apatite, I must admit. Once I clean this up, it's going to be a real prize for the mantelpiece, I hope. So I'm now moving up to the soil just above my cutting. And I've noticed there's a layer of really corroded rock here with a bunch of broken off apatites. And so laying in the soil, look at that's very clear and green and beautiful. So I'm sure there are more of these laying in there. Check this out. Look what Jeff's found. Big crystals, big crystals. He's going to extract these right now. Good job, buddy. Unbelievable clarity on this one, just beautiful. So I've opened a pocket, just every handful I'm bringing out apatites. I'm not even really cleaning them up, but the whole thing promises to be much larger. I can go in right to my shoulder there. There we go, look at that. Getting more and more in my little pit here. This is great. Enjoying myself here today. And Jeff just seems to be finding titanite. Maybe it's because he's digging lower down than me. Like we're both digging underneath this sort of cap here. It's like a cap of rock. He's at the bottom end, probably where the titanites, because they're heavy, are spilling out. I'm kind of at the top end where you're finding the apatites. Look at that. I can tell it's just super transparent. I know it doesn't look it, but I've just seen a little glimmer. More or less welded together here. Fantastic. You can just see the color and clarity on this apatite. So looking at my diggings here, there's a pocket going off in that direction and it's going that way. So I think maybe just this big rock here sits on top there and there. I got to knock off the rock. We'll have an absolute massive treasure trove of apatites. You can see they're beginning to build up here, lots of them. There he is, Titanite King. So I'm following my seam up this way. Where the shovel is where I'm going to dig in and basically continue to open this uphill. Trees generally tend to grow with their roots going down into these cracks. What's your name?
Ben and Nigel.
Nigel, you got some good stuff? Very nice. What's the star find for the day?
Basically apatite.
Apatite, eh? Yeah, good find, eh? Jealous?
No, because I wouldn't have carried.
Dude, it's time to do away with those Elvis chops you got there.
I love them.
So we're pretty beat here. Just bumped into some other rock hounds. Good to see people here, you know. Looks like they had some real beautiful titanite finds recently and some just massive apatite logs. So this is a great place. I'd say it rivals Bear Lake, if not some would say it's better. Maybe we'll come back tomorrow. Right now it's raining. I'm hungry, I'm tired. Let's head up to Wilberforce, get some food. Okay guys, we're here for day 2 at the Gibson property. We're going to probably hit up what we call the Adamowitz fissure, which is a spot where Michael Adamowitz seemed to have had some significant luck and which we were digging at yesterday. So I think Jeff will more concentrate on that, and I'm going up to my little fissure higher up on the hill where there's a cavity, and I'm hoping I find a few more hornblends like I found yesterday. So for us, really, we're trying to imagine the terrain without the soil, because the idea is when the calcite breaks up, all the crystals within the calcite slide down slope. So we're trying to see the lay of the slopes. You know, obviously this is sloping this way, so our titanites and heavy crystals will continue down in that direction, and they're going to eventually catch in pockets. And for us, we need to find the pockets, but we're not really, this is all looking like it just kind of slopes outwards, and probably just the crystals just kind of dissipated out that way into other hollows. So yeah, I think picking your spot's real important when you're in a place like this. So yesterday I noticed there was a pocket underneath that rock, a fair bit of crystal development above it. So I'm thinking to myself, a lot of corroded calcite down on this end, solid calcite on that end. I'm thinking to myself, there's probably some good possibilities here, and I'd also found a couple of hornblends while I was digging yesterday. Awkward digging, but I'm going to give it a go. So with each handful I'm starting to find minerals now. So I pretty well know I'm getting into the right area, just not sure if they're coming from up the crack or underneath. There's a nice one, beautiful color, nice termination on the end. So at this point I'm digging by feel, just using my hands, because if you're using a shovel, there's not going to be much left to your crystals, and I would never have removed this doubly terminated apatite here if I had been using a shovel. It would be in pieces. So I felt it with my hands. I could feel the smooth crystal faces with my fingers. You pretty well know. I just kind of dig around it carefully, and out it comes, and I can feel a lot more there. A little lower down into my hole. You can see I'm kind of a bit of a mess now, but I'm pretty well laying on my back on this ledge here and just reaching down with my hands and kind of feeling underneath the ledge beneath me. So here's where I'm laying, and underneath is the ledge where I'm using my fingers to dig. I've got a couple of decent specimens up there. Some of them were quite a bit larger, but that was while I was using the shovel. You can see they're broken off, very disappointing. But now I'm starting to go into the hand digging mode. Of course my fingers hurt by now, but anyway, such is life. So this is what hand digging looks like. Doesn't look like much. I know you're pretty filthy, and it's uncomfortable, but you get some real nice stuff. I can feel another crystal face. So in the process of hand digging right now, I'm down into my hole, and I can feel with my left hand, this one, I can feel two long apatite crystals. I can just feel it by the smoothness of the face. So I'm going to keep digging here, and let's see what we extract, because okay, I'm upside down in my hole. You can see the crystal. It's quite large. You see the size of that thing? It's probably about 3 inches across, maybe a little more. Keep working with my hands. Hopefully I can extract it somewhat intact. So here's my hole. I can't really film myself in the hole so well. I don't know where Jeff is. But basically I have to get right down into the hole. I'm crouching down. So I step across so I don't crush my crystal. And I crouch down and I dig. So I'll show you when I get it out. Bad news, guys. You see what happened. Oh boy. There's some really gemmy parts. There's a beautiful deep part. A couple of fractures. I'm going to keep going downwards. I mean, this was just kind of laying there. Don't know why it snapped. I was being ever so careful, and suddenly I looked down. I could see it was in 3 pieces. That's the top part. So this is basically how it looks from the hole. I don't know. It's kind of difficult digging conditions, and even more difficult camera conditions. Okay, I think I'm done here for the day. Found a few fairly nice apatites. A couple of them there. A little disappointed because I was hoping for titanite, but so be it. There's the hole. The seam continues on underneath there. I don't doubt there's a lot more nice little apatites. How big they are, that's another question. I think I found the monster down there.